Hey everyone, it's been a while. Hasn't been that many uploads as of late on this channel. And today's upload is going to be a bit of a weird one because it's going to be a bit more personal because I want to sort of recap my year, particularly on YouTube across like all of my channels and stuff. And just talk about some of the stuff that happened recently and over the year. I think there's like a couple of things that I want to get off my chest before I move into the new year. I don't know about y'all, but like personally, I felt pretty mixed about 2025. I'm gonna just kind of go over the more negative stuff first and then the positives later so that we can kind of like end the video on a lighter note. But yeah, I think this year was definitely kind of tough for me, both like personally in my private life, but also just on YouTube. And throughout, there have been many lessons that I've learned. Yeah, I guess to just kind of like bring things to a point, I overall felt like I kind of missed the mark this year on YouTube, which maybe is kind of like shocking for some people. It's like, oh, but yeah, I definitely feel like, especially like near the end, I was not really, well, I am not really happy with my output, that's for sure. So on the main channel, I think this mainly came from just a lack of care with how I present my videos. So there were two major controversies even around two videos that I made. The first one being where I used someone else's thumbnail for my thumbnail for the Racing and Glitches video, because I tried to rush that video out so quickly and I needed an image like as a canvas, as a base for that video. I just took like whatever I could find of Google Images. Did not check the source, and it turns out it was actually from another YouTube video. And the irony is that this is like the exact thing that I complained about like just like a week or two prior. Yeah, it was very hypocritical. Let's just say that. And the other thing was more recent, which was like the title of the latest video that I uploaded. It was kind of like the same thing. I was just kind of in a rush to get the video out. I really wanted to get the video out before Christmas. And I didn't want to like wait any longer. I've been slacking off so much on that video, so I just kind of wanted to wrap it up as quickly as possible. And on YouTube, there is basically a feature where you can put 3 titles onto the same video, and then it just kind of shuffles and gives you, the viewer, a random one out of these like 3 titles. And then that way you can kind of see which title draws in more people and what title gets people to watch more. And I came up with 2 that I thought were pretty decent, and I was really struggling with just coming up with a third title, so I just put in the first thing that came to mind, which in hindsight was just clickbait. Like basically, for those not in the know, the video was about me highlighting just mods for Assetto Corsa and like transforming Assetto Corsa into a completely different game, into a game that really caters to my interests. And I basically, with the title, kind of covered it or coated the premise into a way where it seemed like I made my own game, which is obviously not what the video is about. At the time, I thought this was fine because in the thumbnail you can still see the Assetto Corsa logo and the car is clearly modded in. So I think with the like my cope initially was that with the in combination with the thumbnail, you can kind of see what the video is about. What I didn't consider is that it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, you can't just like lie in the title, and especially because like if you are on mobile and you scroll and stop at the video, the thumbnail only stays for like a second or two, so it just disappears, and then all you're left with is the title. So at that point, it doesn't really matter what I think about like, oh, but the thumbnail shows this and that. It doesn't matter, it disappears and the video plays. So I tried my best to like kind of like take care of these like 2 situations. I talked to the guy I took the initial thumbnail from for the Racing and Glitches video, talked it out with him, apologized to him, and then obviously changed the thumbnail. And all things are cool on that front. Same with the title. I just retitled the video, and I'm now actually much more happy with the title of the video. But I still definitely feel like I broke a little bit of trust that people have in my content in my video with these 2 situations. And it definitely showed me that I'm trying way too hard with these videos. I'm trying way too hard to rush these out last minute. So I definitely want to just give myself more time with these videos in the future, just give myself more breathing room. If they don't come out on time, then so be it. I don't need to stress myself and But yeah, that was kind of that. Thankfully, that wasn't like didn't happen the majority of the time. It was just 2 instances of the videos that I uploaded. But there was definitely also some stuff on the second channel that I don't think was very good. It kind of falls in the same line as in like I'm not really presenting my videos in a way that is good or productive. And I think on the second channel, it wasn't really that I outright like did something wrong. It's more just the general sensationalism. And there was definitely also like an element of just general like negativity on the second channel. I'm just gonna combine these 2 things together. Now, initially, like this channel here that you're also watching the video on was initially actually meant for non-racing game content. But I'm just kind of lacking ideas and interest in making non-racing game content, if I'm being honest. So I figured I'd just kind of repurpose the channel to talk about topics in racing games that I wouldn't cover on the main channel, either because there isn't enough to talk about or it's just not something I want to spend weeks on. So, you know, just videos where I just kind of like yap on certain topics. And over time, it kind of just became a drama slop channel, if I'm being honest, where I just kind of talked about whatever the latest controversy is, and oh, look how bad this new game is, or look how bad this new update is for this game. It's kind of weird. It definitely surprised me in some way that it somehow turned into this. Because I think when I started uploading more frequently onto this channel, it wasn't initially my idea. I wanted to kind of like make more topics on like recent things to kind of like kickstart the channel again and just like reignite some interest. But over time, I just kind of wanted to do more like broader topics on stuff that isn't like controversial or whatever. I think it was because of a mix of just having a tough time in my personal life that made me more negative minded this year. As well as all of the negative reinforcement that I got from these videos, because they generate a lot of interest in a very short amount of time, which doesn't actually matter because usually that interest like fades just as quickly. So I can obviously make videos on controversies, and I can be like, oh, don't buy this game and this sucks. And then people flock to it because they want to know what's going on. But by the time the next day rolls around, no one cares anymore. No one remembers anything about anything that I said. It just leaves me feeling so hollow. It makes me feel nothing about my own videos at the end of the day, where I just felt like there was no point to it. You know, it's so like creatively unfulfilling is what I guess what I want to say. Making videos on like recent topics and just being like, oh, this sucks. But yeah, it was just kind of like the constant negative reinforcement that I think just kind of made me continue. The craziest thing, and this is like something that I'm sure many of you will not even believe me, but it is actually true. When I made my second video on Project Motor Racing, when, you know, more kind of came out with that game and more people just kind of started to speak out and more issues became obvious with that game, I made a second video on it where I just kind of summed everything up one more time. And after I uploaded that video, first of all, that video did extremely well. But after that video was out, I think like a couple hours later, the community manager, or at least one of the community managers from EA, particularly the guy that has also been like very active in like the racing game space on like EA games, reached out to me privately in a private Discord DM, thanking me for the video and telling me how good that video was. And I was just sitting there being like, damn, I don't think so at all. I think that video sucked major ass. I think that video was dog shit. Because honestly, it felt like I had nothing of value to add. I think I already made my point really, really clear with the first video I made on it, which was just kind of like my own experience with the game and sharing that. I think that second video was just completely unnecessary. Like, just dogging on the game, like, who cares? Especially because, once again, like, I know most people just kind of forgot about that video. It wasn't creatively fulfilling. I don't think anyone remembers that video, or even still thinks about that video today. It was so pointless. It was such an insanely pointless video to me that it was crazy to see so much, like, positive feedback towards it, when I think it sucked. So, yeah, it was just kind of like this once again, like, negative reinforcement through, like, you know, big numbers and people reaching out in high positions, people in high positions reaching out, telling me how good the video was. That I think just kind of led me into this, like, downward spiral where I just kept covering more drama and more garbage. And, like, I look back on it now at the end of the year, and realize how much of a waste of time it all was. None of that mattered, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's just like, at least to me, maybe it mattered to you, but to me, it didn't matter shit. I feel nothing about any of these videos that I made. Nothing. I don't feel proud. I don't feel happy. I feel absolutely nothing. And next year, I definitely want to just kind of do something different with the channel here. And I just kind of wanted to put out those thoughts. I don't know. Yeah. And then overall, like, another thing that I wasn't really like super happy with were the infrequent uploads this year. This was definitely partially because I started to run things solo this year. Kind of more as a necessity. But yeah, I definitely want to upload a little bit more next year and just do more stuff, both here on the second channel and on the main channel. Now, the unfortunate thing is that I wasn't able to stream much either this year. In fact, there were definitely times this year where I was this close to streaming, to quitting streaming permanently. I have not done so, at least not yet. And I unfortunately can't say that it's like impossible that I will continue to stream. I'm still kind of like on the streaming thing. I think I just kind of have to like rethink how I approach it and rethink how I do streaming in general. Maybe I'll just kind of like do weekly streams with like a bit of a program, so to say, yeah, it's been a weird year for me on YouTube and Twitch and everywhere. I guess like another thing that I want to mention is just how I used Twitter. I'm not sure how many people even follow, or how many of you even like care about what I post on Twitter. But I think I also just really didn't do myself any favors. I think I got, like, this is like a general thing, I think, that applies both to the second channel here and Twitter and pretty much anything. I think I just got way too invested. I got way too invested in shit that ultimately I don't actually care about. So like new game releases that suck and whatever. I got so invested into all of that. And also so invested into like various controversies and that I talked about on Twitter as well, that I just don't think it was healthy. I just don't think it was any good for me at all. It was just a complete waste of time in hindsight. So yeah, next year I definitely want to do a few things differently. The first one being taking more care with my videos, not rushing stuff out the door, presenting my videos in ways that feel authentic and honest and not bullshit. I want to lock in more. I want to actually like create more stuff, create more content. I want to learn to shut up more. I think that's also really important for me, is to just not get overly invested into topics and always put my opinion piece out there. Ultimately, as I said, I don't think it matters. I don't care. Most people stop caring after a while. So yeah, honestly, the best thing for me to do at that point is just kind of like shut up and just create. That's kind of going to be kind of my mantra going into the next year, I think. Just shut up and lock in. But also, I think I will just kind of restrict my social media usage a little bit over the next year. And this mainly has two reasons. And the first one I already kind of explained. I think I got way too invested into like recent topics. And I think it was partially because of like how much I was doom scrolling. But I'm also just gonna be like really honest. Now, you know, I talked about it earlier, like, you know, the controversies. Those mainly happened on Twitter. And I'm not gonna lie, to a degree, I definitely deserved it. But I also can't lie and say that it didn't also hurt to a certain degree. Not like majorly, but there was definitely like a point where I think I was just really, really exhausted and also a bit down with how people just kind of mobbed on me. Once again, like, I think to a degree I deserved it, but I also think to a degree I think it was a bit too much for me. So yeah, I'm gonna just kind of like draw back, I think, from social media in the next year. I'm not gonna post anything. I'm not gonna scroll. I'm not gonna like look at anything. At most, I'm just gonna like share new videos or anything that I'm doing in life, and that's probably going to be about it. So yeah, I had to get all of that off my chest. I know this was like super disorganized. I have some notes here and tried to keep things a little bit organized, but I think it was still massively all over the place. I apologize. But yeah, on to more positive things. I think this year was very experimental for me in terms of YouTube, and I think a lot of it worked, to my surprise. So yeah, I definitely want to talk a little bit about that, and also what you can expect for the next year and what stuff that I want to do next year. So I think the most notable thing that you probably all have noticed is that the stream highlights kind of ended this year. There hasn't really been that much. I think the last stream highlights video came out in May. And this was sort of also intentional. Truthfully, I'm not interested in that kind of format anymore. I think stream highlights are kind of boring. I don't know. This is just how I feel. You know, I don't want to say like generally, but it's just not something that I watch anymore. It's like a format that I'm not really interested in. There's maybe like only like a few creators that I followed for a long time, where I still watch some like stream highlight content, but even that has like drastically gone back for me personally. The thing is, if I'm not interested in watching something, I'm not interested in making it either. That's kind of like the main reason why I wasn't really doing stream highlights and kind of pivoted more towards like, I don't want to say essay content because it's not essays, but like narrated stuff, narrated content. Especially because like I think the main thing with the stream highlight stuff is that I felt like I did everything I could. I think especially with the GT4 100% video, which we basically turned into a double feature-length movie, I feel like there's not much more to do. I think we pushed that sort of format and that sort of style to its logical limits. There's not much more that can be done. We can scale the productions up, we can increase the quality, but I think at its core, it's not going to get any more innovative or different than that. And I think once I've exhausted what I can get out of a format, so to say, what I can get out of a video format, I think it makes more sense to try new things, which is definitely what I wanted to do, or definitely what I did this year. So for example, we had the Girlfriend Plays series, which I thought was super cool, and the reception to it was insanely good as well. So we only did 2 videos, and the last one was, I think, back in summer. We didn't really get an opportunity to make another video on it since then, because things have been kind of busy on both of our ends. So it will definitely return. We will definitely make more videos, and I'll try to get her to play more different racing games as well. So that I can definitely say for sure. But the main thing that I really want to focus on for 2026 that I'm actually really stoked about is to make more lengthy analytical videos, I guess you could call it. Like the distance video. The video I made on distance was kind of like it was supposed to be kind of like a filler video, funnily enough, just to squeeze something in time for Halloween. But it kind of low-key became my favorite video of the year, if I'm being honest. And it did so much better than I thought. Like initially when I made that, or when I uploaded the video and made it public, it did insanely poorly. Like it was easily the worst performing video I have uploaded in a very long time. So I was like, damn, you know, but at the end of the day, I was like, okay, whatever, it was more of a filler video. I had other stuff planned anyways. However, it came back so hard. Like after like a week, I don't know what happened, but the algorithm just kind of picked it up. And it's now like one of the most successful videos I've done this year. Insane comeback. And it definitely made me want to make more videos like that one in the future. On other racing games, maybe also non-racing games, not sure yet. But just really lengthy videos where like really go into like insane detail on just one particular game. There was actually a racing game that I wanted to do this with first, but I figured I'd just kind of do it with distance first for Halloween. But yeah, this is definitely something I'm super stoked to do more with, like these like analytical racing game reviews, if you want to call it. I'm not sure how you would call this format, but yeah, definitely expect more of that kind of format next year. And despite all of the negativity on the second channel, I was very surprised how much people actually enjoyed the second channel and how well things did here in general. Like this channel at the moment does not have that many subscribers. It's like, I think like around 13,000, which that is a high number. That is a lot of people, but compared to my main channel, it's fairly low. And also just generally like racing games channels, it's fairly low. But videos here tend to do really well in comparison to the sub count. So there's like a crazy high interest in videos where I just kind of like yap about certain topics, which was way more than I thought. And the reception generally has been pretty good. I think when it comes to this channel, I do want to lean more towards evergreen topics, I like to call it. So topics that aren't just like timely, you know, where, you know, it's kind of like about a current situation or current controversy or whatever, and then everyone just kind of moves on. I want to make videos on topics that still are relevant in like 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, where you can still watch the videos in like a couple of years and it's still interesting, it's still relevant, and you know, people can still watch it. That's kind of what I want to lean more towards. I think I've already kind of like done this a couple of times with a few videos, like for example where I talked about edgy racing games, or where I talked about racing game cover arts. think more in that style is what I want to do. Yeah, pretty good surprise as well, I think, for the second channel. And so, yeah, wrapping it all up, it definitely, I guess, in some way felt like the end of an era for me on YouTube. Not because I'm gonna like fall off and quit, but I think it's because I think in 2026 my style and my content and my videos it's gonna change pretty radically. It's probably not gonna be like a major change where you're gonna be like, oh wow, he's doing something completely different. It's going to be taking the stuff that worked this year and just doing more of it, which is very different from the stuff I did 2 years or 3 years ago. But I'm really excited for it. I hope you are too. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I just kind of wanted to yap a little bit about my year on YouTube and what 2025 was like, all the bad, but also all the good. And I hope this was interesting to you. I don't really do these like personal videos ever, so if anyone's still listening, thank you, because it shows that you're actually interested in me and what I do, which is a massive compliment. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the support the entire year long as well. Much appreciated. On to many more years, I'd say. Take care, take it easy, and as always, Happy New Year.